Hi folks, this is Ron from RJM Music. We have something interesting to show you today. At long last we have the first pre-production Mastermind GT here. Those of you who've been keeping track since our original prototype so long ago, it's been a long wait, but here we are. We've gone through a lot of design changes and just trying to make this thing as good as possible. And here it is. We're finally getting to the finish line. So as you can see, the arrangement is similar to the original prototype. We still have 22 buttons, 23 displays, but that's pretty much where the similarities end. We've changed pretty much everything since the original prototype. One of the big notable things, we've changed all the displays. The above button displays are larger and they're graphic displays, which means we can change font sizes and pretty much do anything we want with them. The main display is now a black and white black and white graphic display as well. The reason we went with these particular displays is these are the only ones we could find that were really visible in bright sunlight. Pretty much any other kind of display is going to wash out. The main display is black and white only. All the other displays have an RGB backlight, so we can set the backlighting color to a whole variety of colors, and we've kind of picked a default configuration here where the presets are green and the instant access are blue, and then the other functions are red and purple, and then the color changes and the text inverts when the buttons are selected, and we found that's one of the better ways to do it. This is all, of course, user configurable. So the default setup, we have 6 preset buttons across the bottom, and we have 12 instant access buttons. We have the usual bank up and down. We have an instant access mode button that converts all the others to be all instant access modes, and now we have 21 instant access buttons instead of 12. And then we have a page and store button. The store function is activated when you hold it, and that's pretty much, it's a pretty common thing on MIDI controllers, and we have it here as well. So we can say, like, on our chorus preset, we want to have amp channel 1 on and also our chorus on. We store it, and we can go through the other ones, and the crunch one, we turn on a different amp channel. High gain patch, we can turn on channel 3. And the delay lead we can have, so let's say we want the delay in channel 4 and the boost, and we store that. And so, this is fairly common stuff, and you can see that everything changes in the instant access buttons as we switch the presets. One of the interesting things you can see here is that we do support button grouping, where these buttons that are meant to control an amplifier channel, it only allows one button to be selected. We can do up to 4 different groups of grouped buttons that way. So now we can talk about where this controller goes beyond other controllers. One of the more important things is the idea of button pages. People often ask me, well, how many preset buttons and how many instant access buttons does this controller have? And well, there's a default answer, which I gave a second ago, but really the answer is, how many do you want? It doesn't matter on a controller like this. Any button can be assigned to any function. That's the nice thing, one of the many nice things of having the displays on here. And these can also be changed dynamically, and so we have different button pages, and so we can just hit the page button here, and now we have 12 preset buttons and 7 instant access buttons. We can hit it again, and we can say, well, we have a preset button here and here and here and here and here, and we've got instant access buttons and all around. That's a pretty impractical setup, but it's just meant to show you that you can do anything you want. You can put any button anywhere on the controller. We have a page 4 here, which is more of what we would expect, where it's still the same layout, only that we have a different set of instant access buttons here, and that's mainly where I see the page button being used, is that you can have one kind of instant access button selection for one preset and another sort of instant access button selection for another preset. So for example, you could have more of your pedals available for switching on one preset, but then maybe shift it to have more buttons available for controlling, say, like features on a DSP effects processor. So we'll go back to the first page here, and I'll also show you another feature where we can go to the Shredfest preset. And what we'll do is, now that we've selected this preset, we're going to go through our pages here. And for Shredfest, we want to have this page active instead. And so what we're going to do now is turn on the solo feature, which is the same one from the other page. You can have buttons linked together like that, and we'll turn on the flange, and we'll turn on a long delay, and we'll store that. And so now, when we go, say, like to the clean preset, we go back to the first button page where you have the channel selections and this particular selections of effects. But if I go to the Shredfest preset, then we've switched our button page, and now these other effects are visible. And so you can do that for each preset and select a different button page. Right now we only have 4 button pages defined. You can have up to 16, but you can limit it so that you don't have to hit the page button 16 times to get to the page you want. If you only need 2 or 3 or 4 or 6 pages, you can limit the number of pages so that the number of button presses is minimized. Presets are handled pretty simply in conjunction with button pages. You can have any number of preset buttons you'd like on the page, and so we have to be able to handle that because, what happens when you hit bank up? Well, if we hit bank up on this page, there are 6 preset buttons, so if we hit bank up, we go to the next 6 buttons, and now it's waiting for us to select a preset in that bank, and so we can go to any of the presets we have defined here, find one, and select it, and now, so we're on preset 16. If we go to the next button page, we'll see that now that we have 12 preset buttons, our selected preset is now, obviously still selected and visible, but now we can see, an additional 6 presets. If we go over here and select another preset, we've jumped back to button page 1, and so we're seeing only 6 presets. And again, we make sure that whatever preset is selected is visible, no matter how few preset buttons we have on the controller page at that moment. So we can run through some of the numbers here. We've got 256 presets. We can control 16 connected devices, 16 button pages, as I mentioned, and each instant access button can actually send really as many as 11 MIDI messages, and it's all completely user programmable. In later videos, we're going to go through the onboard programming process. We will have an editor program for Mac and PC, and we'll go through that as well later on. But we wanted to make sure that the onboard programming was as good as possible as well. So that's it for this time. We're going to hopefully do videos like this at least once a week up to the release of the GT, which looks like November at this point. But I think we can actually stick to this date because the design is solid and the parts are on order, and so we're ready to go. So stay tuned. We'll have more information on this hopefully very soon. Thanks.